What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. I am wearing my Zenith Pilot on a brown rubber strap. I found this in my strap bag and didn't know I had it, and I thought, well, hey, I'll try it on this, and it works. It's pretty cool, I think. I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, Watches and Wonders. Well, let's first and foremost, let's just roll the intro and we'll talk about Watches and Wonders and see how it goes.
Talking timepieces with Tony. Talking timepieces with Tony.
Okay, first and foremost, I am drinking a Bud Light. Cheers. Watches and Wonders, man. To be honest with you, I was really kind of disappointed in the press and the coverage, as opposed to like last year. It was like there was so much press and there was so much coverage. I'm talking about legit coverage, man. And this year they didn't have the Watches and Wonders morning show. I don't know, man. It was, and it just goes to show that since the watch market is kind of corrected back to where it was prior to COVID days, you know, all this hype has died down, and now people are like, you know, losing interest. You know, those are the people that are the fair weathered fans, so to speak. And you know, the ones that are left are us true legit fans. So there's still plenty of watches to talk about. But having said that, I was just like kind of like really disappointed. I was looking for everything, and you know, when it comes down to the point where you have to watch, you know, Paul Thorpe walk through, I mean, it's okay as long as you turn the volume off, and I shouldn't have said that, but it's like still, you know what I mean, or Oshin, you know, doing his thing, whatever. He got some good coverage, but for the most part, it was like it wasn't that good. But there are some watches to talk about, and I'm not going to go in particular order except for my top Rolex picks and my top Cartier picks. So I'm going to start with Nomos. Nomos came out with, I think it was like, I'm sorry, I wrote stuff down just because I'm not flying off the top like I usually do. They came out with like 31 new colors, limited to 175 pieces on the Tangente, which I think are really cool. And they have the display case back, and their price point is relatively low compared to some of their other models or the other Tangente models. It's you know, they're cool. Nomos really nail it when it comes to the colors and doing what they do with their watches. Plus the watches are stellar. I mean, the quality of Nomos is amazing. So you know, there's a lot of colors. I'm not going to put them all up. I'll just, you know, put one up. But check out Nomos Tangente. They were you know, they're something to look out for. Let's go to Patek Philippe. You know, Patek. You know, they got some flack, man, because they discontinued so many models, and then they came out with the 5980 flyback chrono, which I think is really sick, man. I love the gray dials, or the denim dials and whatever. They're beautiful. They came out with a 5330G world timer. I'd wear that just because it looks cool, you know, the whole world timer thing. It's too busy for me, and I wouldn't be able to read it anyway, but I think it aesthetically looks really cool in white gold. And then the 5164G travel time Aquanaut. I mean, that thing to me is just sick, man, with the gray and the gray dial, man. That color combination is really nice. And so I think they did a good job with those, man. You know, going to be hard to get, just like any other Patek, but hey, whatever. Let's move on to Vacheron Constantin. The Patrimony retrograde moon phase is just beautiful. For those of you who don't know what retrograde is for instance at the top, and it's a moon phase as well, and at the top it has the date with an hour, it's a date marker. And once it gets to 30 or 31, it snaps back. So it's a retrograde. It doesn't go all the way around. It gets bam, bam, like that. So the Patrimony, they also came out, geez, I can't talk. It's probably too many beers, I guess, you know. Patrimony also came out with a three-hand, or is it two-hand, sorry. But still very beautiful. So, and they also came out with the overseas with the green dial. Wasn't too impressed with that. But still, the Vacheron, Vacheron Constantin are, doing some good things. Zenith, the Defy Extreme Diver. They came out with a few models with that one, a blue one, a black one, and then an orange one, which isn't the Extreme Diver, but they've got 600 meters water resistance, which is 1,969 feet, which 1969, because 1969 was a really important year for Zenith and what they came out with the El Primero movements and, iconic brand. And, it's a nice looking watch. It's 44 millimeters, or is it? It's 42.5 millimeters, I think. It's thick. It's a big watch, man, but it looks cool. Would I buy one? I don't think so, just because of the size. The orange one's great. It comes on a bracelet, but you can't change it to a rubber strap, or it doesn't have the quick change like the Extreme Diver does. But still very nice, but nothing, I'd still go for the triple calendar, even though that came out before Watches and Wonders. I think that's a beautiful watch, of course, with the moon phase. So Zenith still, and they have a new CEO, of course, and his favorite watch is the Pilot watch. I think he said the chronograph. I saw one interview with him, and I can't remember who interviewed him, but So yeah, Zenith. All right, so the next one I'm going to talk about is Raymond Weil. I mean, who put Raymond Weil back on the map? I guess they did, right? Raymond Weil are doing some really good things. Now, I've known about Raymond Weil for quite some time, obviously since I was younger, because when I couldn't afford the watches, when I was in that Movado realm, Tag Heuer, Raymond Weil were another one of those department store watches, but they were the higher end luxury, man. If you could afford a Raymond Weil, man, that was cool. But they came out with the Millesime and the Moon Phase, which is really nice. They came out with a Sector Dial watch. All these in a great price point of about $2,400-$2,500. In 2023, they won the GPHG Challenge Winner Award, which is the Grand Prix de Horlogerie de Genève. So, I've always thought their watches look good and they deserve a little bit more credit, but at the same time, they're just one of those kind of lower end ones that go under the radar. But they're doing some really cool things with their new watches. So look out for Raymond Weil. I think, for affordable luxury and that price point, man, especially with that moon phase. That moon phase is absolutely, I think it's stunning. I think it's beautiful because it's a happy moon phase. It's got a happy face and the stars are cool. It's really nice. Let's go to I'm just trying to do this video quick, and so between that and the beers, I guess. But IWC, the Portugueser. I mean, they came out with the Eternal, which is this 45 million year watch you never need to reset for 45 million years. And I said this in a previous video that once the world ends, the only thing that'll survive is, probably cockroaches floating around the universe, as well as the IWC Eternal. But their Perpetual Calendar Dune, I think, is really sick. That's a nice watch, man. Beautiful dial. And they have a few other models in the Portuguese line. They really knocked it out of the park. A little bit big though, I think those are 44 millimeters, so a little big on my, too big for me, but for anyone with a bigger wrist, definitely. JLC, the Duometre, another, JLC knocked it out of the park with that one. A lot of complications. And then they have the Sphero Tourbillon, which looks really cool. Again, a watch I would never wear. It's just too ostentatious, too in your face, too big, but beautiful nonetheless. It's one of those watches you can have maybe in a watch winder, just sitting by itself. You just stare at it. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful. But now getting to my top ones, Cartier, man. Cartier really nailed it. Cartier, the Santos dual time, you know, that's a sick watch, man. I saw that and I was like, I think I might have to have that, you know. But it's got the dual time, so it looks like it's a small subdial with the secondary time, and it also has a day-night indicator, which is a little dot that tells you whether it's day or night, but via a dark or a lighter, the way that it's done. So it's really cool. Also, the Dumont in the green dial, I think, is really sick. I'd love to have one of those. They came out with also the Rewind in the burgundy dial that goes backwards. I have no interest in that whatsoever, unless time actually did go backwards a little bit, you know. But not a great watch. But the Santos dual time is sick. Plus the Santos in the brown fume dial, that is another one. Now that is funny because when I look at that on the leather strap as opposed to the bracelet, I don't like it on the bracelet at all, but I love it on the leather strap. So that's something to look at. I'm looking forward to checking that out when it gets into stores. But then of course Rolex, man. What did Rolex do, or what didn't they do? Rolex didn't do a lot other than discontinue a lot of models, including the Daytona, Le Mans, but and then they replaced it with the yellow gold. Got rid of the white gold, replaced it with the yellow gold. But they came out with the 1908 in platinum. Beautiful watch at $30,900. That's a piece that's pretty sick. I'd love to see that in person. The Day-Date 36 platinum with the white dial. Oh man, that's sick. 36 platinum white dial, Roman numerals, deconstructed Roman numerals. Heavy is, it's pretty heavy, I'm sure. And then also in the Sunray dial in the blue with the same sort of deconstructed Roman numerals. Very sick, man. I'd love to check those out. Those are at $59,800. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. As far as the GMT, the 126710 GR-NR, I think it's nice, but not anything to write home about and go, oh my God, Rolex came out with this great GMT. It's nice, but anyway, other than that, man, that's about all I got on Watches and Wonders. And I wish it was a little bit better this year, but it wasn't. So, all right, you guys. I appreciate everyone who likes and subscribes, and we'll see you on the next one.